Waltman had quite the trip. He came to Nashville with fiancee Joni Lauer, we know her as China, the night before the show. Because after his no-show a few weeks back, the company wanted an assurance he'd be there. So he was there, but then the night of the show, he never arrived. He wound up getting to the building about 15 minutes before the match was to start, with he and Joni being described as looking, as in their dress and demeanor, like two people who just got out of a rave at 5 a.m. He also didn't have his gear with him, nor did he have time to change into it. So he worked the match in his rave clothes. He has enough instinctive talent that while not physically looking good, his ring work helped carry the match. Buddy, you want to talk about stress. I can't wait to get this story from your perspective. Let's start at the beginning. Do you remember the original idea being Raven? Do you remember it being offered to Jeff Hardy? And do you remember why that didn't work out? And then what can you tell me about this report that Waltman shows up just minutes before the match is supposed to happen?
Okay, so Raven, tip top of the card, but I think we all collectively agreed if we got Sting and Jarrett, he doesn't need to be with us, but he also doesn't need to be with the Russo guy. So it kind of by deduction, and you know, he agreed. Everyone agreed. Okay, that doesn't really fit. So, but on the flip side, who are we going to get? Who are the opponents? The Jeff Hardy straight baby face. We had been, I say we, probably me, but you know, as a company, we'll say that we had begun to have conversations, but didn't know it was just too premature. But it also was going to be a tough fit. So Waltman was, we don't want to say the perfect guy, but we thought it would be, okay, we switched the title the week before to AJ. He needs a high quality, high profile partner, but who are we going to get? Well, Waltman kind of checked all those boxes, and we thought, okay, everything's fine. It's going to work. No big deal. Stress, Conrad. It's not even, it's kind of an understatement because of all the obvious factors. Anniversary show.
Yep.
Panda.
Yep.
We needed a good surprise that the audience would be receptive to.
Yep.
And I'm saying behind closed doors, I'll say Sean Waltman was an ally of Jerry Jarrett, and by proxy an ally of Jeff Jarrett. Okay, he no shows. That ain't a good look.
Nope.
Yes, stress on top of stress on top of stress. Ironically enough, if I remember correctly, who do you think, as it's laid out, when he didn't show up the night before and we're kind of juggling, who do you think the backup plan was?
Does it have to be Raven at that point?
Absolutely. Which was how ironic that we ain't going to Raven. It's not good for the story. It's certainly not good for the long-term play. This is kind of shoehorning where it just doesn't work. But look, we were kind of going to be left with
nothing
if we don't deliver something and we can't conjure up a plane ticket and get whoever else in here. That was the backup plan, but it ended up all right. Go ahead. You're about to say something.
You working the phones late night the night before or early Wednesday morning? Are you beating the phones to find something else?
I'm sure myself, my father, and Bob Ryder, probably us three and maybe more. I don't know, but it feels like us three with, to no avail, voicemail.
Would there have been a consideration to, I know this isn't ever the plan A, but do you think you guys would have eventually said, maybe AJ could do most of the work and Russo could just stand over there and hold the tag rope and then there's one big spot with him?
I'm sure that was put on the table. My gut tells me I would have said, you're cheating the people out of,
yes,
unless
he got his comeuppance there.
Yeah.
Then you could pay it off, but I mean, you would have had to go way over the top with something, right?
Yeah. But man, when he showed, and that brought back memories when I saw that, I'll never forget Shaw walking down and look, Dave was right.
Let's throw that picture back up on YouTube.
His
So everybody
is always super good, but he didn't look like X-Pac. He didn't look like 6-Pac. He didn't look like 1, 2, 3. He looked like a ninja.
Well, and listen, again, as you said, I mean, this guy used to be the measuring stick in the WWF. So, when the bell rings, we'll be fine. But I'm sure you have mixed emotions when he walks in the back. Like, on the one hand, probably washed over this overwhelming sensation of relief. On the other hand, I'm going to punch him. I'm so frustrated and so mad. I'm happy. I'm sad. I'm angry. I'm disappointed. I want to get over this.
I've been in these kind of positions, not identical, but like this. You go from, oh my God, and that's why, Buddy Landell, hey kid, let me teach you something. Don't ever be late. Be so damn late, they're tickled to see you, and they ain't got time to bitch you out. Not only that, we didn't have time. We got to go over the match. We have 10 minutes. We got to get this down. Sting's first match in quite some time. His introduction to the company. Yes, it's a.
I mean, think about that, making a first impression. You're trying to get this guy on board. You've been trying for a year. It finally happens, and one of his opponents might not even be there until right before.
Yes.
Talk about putting your best foot forward. This is the opposite of that.
In the asylum. So there's not a lot of green rooms, as you're well aware, in the asylum.
No, and I'm sure Sting is like, I've worked the Georgia Dome and I've worked this building and that building, and now he's in a dirt and gravel parking lot in a metal tin building that we've painted black that doesn't really have the best dressing room for Sting, nor the best accommodations for him to put his makeup on. And it's been a while since he wrestled, so I'm sure he'd like to go over the match a little bit, and that guy ain't here.
Yeah, and it's June, so it's a hot box.
Yes, he's pouring sweat in makeup. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure you're just like, man, I really wish I wouldn't have put that pea shooter in Vince's belly right now. Right now, I'd take a call and I'd be working Hartford tomorrow. I'm for it.
Oh my gosh. Fun times, pal. Fun times.